Hi, my name is Artimus Pyle. I am the drummer of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Leonard Skinner with Ronnie Van Zant. It's important to mention Ronnie Van Zant. And I'm going in on the show today to talk about my album and whatever Howard wants to talk about. That's my attitude, is I'm not going to go in here with an agenda. I feel very fortunate to be included in this show and to be here. So, you know, whatever Howard wants to talk about. I know 10 years ago we talked about the plane crash quite a bit because he was fascinated, as a lot of people are, with the facts surrounding that plane crash. So I talk about it and think about that every day. But with Howard, I'll talk about anything he wants to. I'm not nervous at all because this is just something I feel like it's part of what I do, like going on stage. I used to have butterflies before I played drums, and it was kind of part of it, you know, getting the anxiety of going out. But now I can't wait to play. And, you know, I can't wait to get in there and see the gang. I love Robin, and I've always wanted to tell her, you know, that I feel, you know, like she's just a really great person and very strong. She's a survivor, too. And all the guys, Gary and Fred and all you guys, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. And I guess if, you know, I had to go in there and take my clothes off, I'd be nervous because, you know, I'm not as well endowed as, say, Tommy Lee, but I am a drummer. So
it should be good, though. It should be a good interview.
I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Good luck today.
Okay, thank you.
Artimus Pyle stopped by. He's the drummer from Leonard Skinner, who's no longer. Those guys don't even want anything to do with him. But he's got the Artimus Pyle band. We've had Artimus on before. He's got an amazing story. I mean, the dude was in a plane crash with Leonard Skinner and survived. What's that like?
Oh.
It's just too weird. There's the man.
That alone is a great story.
There's the man right there, Artimus Pyle, one of the coolest names ever. Artimus Pyle. I'm thinking of changing my name to Artimus Pyle. Idaho. Yeah.
Later.
Skinner has about 30 great songs.
Skinner's got a lot of great songs. But the fuckers in Skinner won't let Artimus hang with the band.
Why not?
I'll get into that later. How you doing, brother?
Freebird.
I'm doing great, Howard. How are you, man?
I'm okay, man.
I've missed you.
Hey, same here. You know, I often think about, I think my biggest, there's two fears I have about dying. I don't mind dying in my sleep. I could deal with that. I don't mind dying, like, but like a plane crash and maybe burning up in a fire are the two freakiest things I think anyone could go through.
Drowning sucks, too.
And I don't know if a lot of people know this. I mean, of course, you're the drummer from Leonard Skinner, but that your dad was in a near-fatal plane crash, wasn't he?
He was killed.
He was killed?
Yeah.
Your dad?
Yes.
And you almost went the same way.
He was killed in a mid-air plane collision in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
How many years ago?
And I was in the Marines. I was a sergeant in the Marine Corps, and that was 1971.
Holy mackerel. What are the odds of two people in the same family both being in plane crashes?
Now, my wife, Carrie, her father, did 2 tours in Vietnam and came back and was giving private flying lessons in Iowa, and they made a side slip stall, and they went into a cornfield. So her father was killed in a plane crash also.
Holy mackerel. Do you get on planes to this day, or do you just avoid them?
I'm a pilot. I mean, I flew up here for your show.
You flew yourself up here?
No. I flew commercial. But,
okay.
I used to fly hang gliders, and my father and I were getting our pilot's license at the same time. I never soloed, but I had my ticket.
How soon after the Leonard Skinner crash, if you will, did you get back in a plane?
It was quite a while.
Right. I would think you'd be petrified. Your father dies in a plane crash. You almost die in a plane crash.
Do you think there's some kind of cloud over your head?
No. I just, it's just one of those things.
Weird coincidence?
A weird coincidence.
Yeah. And your wife's father?
My wife's father, 2 tours in Vietnam and killed in a private plane crash in Iowa.
What kind of plane were they in?
It was a Cessna 150, both my father and my father-in-law.
Why was your dad in a Cessna 150? What was going on?
He was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, flying over a piece of property that he was going to build on.
Oh.
And he liked to see the lay of the land and the geographical lay of the land from the air
Right.
to put in storm drains and stuff. So he was up there, and a B-57 weather reconnaissance bomber with the right wing down, landing at Kirkland Sunport Air Force Base, cut Dad's plane in half. They fell 1,200 feet. He was killed immediately.
Were you? Wow, I'm just blown out by that. Help me out through this. What happens in a plane crash? I don't understand something. You're there. You're sitting in the plane. You're talking to the guys in Leonard Skinner, I guess. Were you asleep? Were you guys just having conversation?
Playing cards, watching playing Pong on the video.
And all of a sudden, do they make an announcement that plane is running out of fuel?
I was in the cockpit, and you remember 10 years ago.
What kind of plane was this, by the way?
It was a Convair 240 with reciprocal Pratt & Whitney prop engines, you know.
Why were they running out of fuel?
Because on a 1947 airplane, the first plane we had was a 48, belonged to Jerry Lee Lewis.
Right.
It was a Rolls-Royce powered prop jet.
Okay.
And that thing was beautiful. Then we got the lesser plane. It was red, white, and blue. We had Leonard Skinner painted across the nose.
You got the lesser plane, so you could have your own plane.
Yeah, we got a different plane out of Dallas, Texas, and the gauges on an old airplane like that, you don't trust them. You put a stick. You put a stick down in the tank, and you look at how much fuel.
Were you happy with the pilots who were flying that day? Did you speak to them ahead of time?
Walter McCreary and John Gray. I was in the cockpit. I often flew the plane. They would let me. The pilot would check and see if I was high, you know, or whatever, and check me out. And then he'd let me slip into the co-pilot seat while the other guy goes to the head or the galley. And we had auditioned like 30 different pilots, and these two guys were cool.
They were on top of things.
But whose job is it to take that dipstick and look into the
It was theirs.
fuel tank? Okay.
They
They didn't do
paid
it,
dearly for their mistake because
They died.
They died. And I never held it, although it was kind of pilot error. They lost their families. Their families lost their loved ones. So I never really held a grudge. You know, it happened.
But why didn't they dip the stick, do you think? Do you think they just said, hey, don't worry, it's fine?
We were in Greenville, South Carolina, and they looked at the gauges, and the gauges were registering up there.
Right.
And then as we were crashing, we were switching fuel from our wing tanks into the main bag. And when they were doing that, they realized there was no fuel to switch.
Oh, my God.
So we ran out of gas. On a tour bus, it's cool. You know, you can run out of gas on a tour bus.
Roll over to the side of the
roll
road.
over to the side of the road.
At what point do you become aware that you're out of gas? I mean, and you as a pilot must have known, we're going to go down. That's it.
The first engine went out.
Right.
Left engine.
You were sitting in the
Co-pilot seat.
the co-pilot
No,
seat, or you were in the cockpit?
I'd gone up the co-pilot, pilot, and the jump seat, little navigator jump seat.
So when you got word that there was no fuel, you were in the jump seat?
I was in the jump seat.
You were in the jump seat.
Now, did they tell the other guys in the plane?
Everybody knew there was a problem, and then our co-pilot came back and made the announcement that we're going to try to land on an interstate or in a field. And we were, all of us were thinking, an interstate or a field? Not good. Hey,
Not good.
Can I say hello to Fred and Artie and
you may not.
all the guys?
Absolutely not.
Sure.
Everybody, I
Please
love you.
don't
guys.
even
I'm Artie.
acknowledge.
Hey, Artie.
I love you, buddy.
I'm Artie.
I know.
That's right.
I know. I was with some of your guys the other night, and they call you Artie. I was proud to have the
Artemis
same
Pyle,
name.
Artemis Lang. And please don't say hello to Fred ever
Fred's
again. Never
behind
acknowledge
you,
that
and
he's
just
there.
ignore him.
Please ignore him.
Well, I saw Gary, and I talked to him 10 years ago, and
But wait, you got to. I know this is painful to bring up, I'm sure, and you don't like remembering it.
well, Howard, I think about it every day.
You do? Do you have nightmares?
No.
But what do you? When you think about it, do you just get angry and go, "Why the fuck didn't those guys just check the goddamn fuel with the stick?"
It would have. We would have made it.
We would have made it.
We would have made.
Still
We only had
enjoying Leonard
60
Skinner.
miles to go to Baton Rouge.
Right.
That's where we were headed for. We were on a 95-city world tour.
You were 60 miles short of your destination when you ran out of fuel.
That's correct.
When they said they were going to try and land, did you say they're just saying that to make us feel better? There's no way you can land a plane that's up that high without any fuel, right? I mean, where were they going to land?
We spiraled in from 9,000 feet. And, kept looking for a break in the clouds.
Right.
When we came out of the clouds, we were right on top of the trees.
Right.
And I remember one of our guys, one of Bill Graham's right-hand men, Clayton Johnson, he said one word. He said, trees. And, you
Is
know.
trees good or bad?
That's bad.
Bad.
Bad, because can't the trees, though, sort of cushion? I don't know anything about this.
These were Mississippi pine trees this big around. So when we hit the tops of the trees, it was brushing on the belly of the plane.
Right.
That was okay. Once we got down into the thick of it, it sucked us into a 45-degree dive.
You would
And-
think maybe it would act as one big cushion and cushion the blow.
No.
Well, once we got down in those big
You're going
trees,
very fast.
It tore. Yeah, it tore I watched the left wing come off.
Right.
I never lost consciousness.
That's what I want to ask you. So you're going down. Everyone's probably. Does anyone shit their pants? Is anyone crying? Is anyone? I mean, I would imagine.
Praying, crying.
What do people do?
Praying.
Yeah.
Praying. Were you praying?
Yes, in my own way.
Yeah.
You know, I believe, and it was very quiet. Everybody, you know, nobody was freaking out.
Right.
Ronnie Van Zant got up from the front area, just minutes before, like 2 minutes before we went in.
Right.
And he walked to the back of the plane, and I thought to myself, good idea.
Right.
He came back up to the front, and he stopped right beside me, and we gave each other the old hippie handshake.
Right.
And Ronnie had a beautiful smile. Now, you know, everybody talks about how crazy Ronnie was when he drank. Well, anybody drinks, they get crazy. But Ronnie gave me a beautiful smile.
Quiet smile.
A quiet smile. We shook hands. He had a crimson pillow like this in his
Lap.
grip,
Yeah.
and to take back for the impact. And he went back forward. And Ronnie told me in Tokyo, Japan, one night that he would never live to see 30, and he would go out with his boots on. In other words, on the road.
Right.
And he knew his destiny. He did not live to see 30.
What a horror. So wait a second. So you all look at each other. You have a chance. I'm sorry. You all right? If you want to stop talking about it.
No, that's cool.
It's a fucked up thing.
I miss Ronnie and Steve and Cassie and
Oh my God.
and Dean and Leon and Alan and all of them.
I can't imagine.
You just think about the potential.
Yeah, the only reason I'm asking you, and if it gets too much for you, you tell me. But I really do. I think about a scenario like this, and I wonder what the hell I'd do. I think I don't know. I think
everybody does.
I think I would just pass out from being scared.
Yeah, every human being does ask themselves, what would I do if I know a plane's
Right.
going down?
Right.
And he actually went through that.
But
you know?
you had faith that you could survive it, or were you just kind of like, there's no way I'm going to survive this?
I never, your life passing before your eyes. Mm-hmm. That never happened.
Never happened. Everyone was conscious.
I was just, I was totally aware. I went back, at one point before the last 2 minutes, I had gone back to the cockpit. Mm-hmm. I went back through the plane. I told everybody to put out their cigarettes, turn out all lights, conserve any power that we had.
Why do you say that?
Buckle in. I was playing stewardess because
Okay.
I was like the ground crew. I would help load our luggage. Sometimes, I would fly the plane. Les would let me get in there if he
Right.
knew I was cool.
Was this your way of saying to these guys, hey, maybe we'll survive this if you do this, this, and this?
Well, I was just playing stewardess, and I knew conserving. I was in the Marines from 67 to 71. I'm a sergeant in the Marine Corps. Once a Marine, always a Marine. So I was thinking in that survival mode.
Right. Like, hey, any little bit of fuel we can conserve.
Anything, any power or
Any
anything.
power at all.
Right.
So, I went back to the cockpit. I strapped myself in the navigator seat. Walter McCreary turned around and looked at me, and he says, "You better go back and strap yourself in." And I could see
He was scared.
he was scared. I could
Right.
see the fear in his eyes, and I should have said, "Listen, do you want me to take it?" But I went back.
Landed? Do you feel you could have, when you say you want me to take it, do you think you could have flown that plane better than these two guys?
Well, Howard, they made a mistake, in my opinion, by putting the landing gear down. The landing gear, they said we were going to try a field, which meant we were going to belly in. Mm-hmm. If we belly in, you don't want to have your landing gear down because it'll trip you. It'll flip you. So when I heard the landing gear, the hydraulics still had enough pressure to pump the gear down, and I thought that's a really bad idea. And then it did suck us into the trees once we hit. It sucked us down.
Had the landing gear not been down, you're saying maybe it would have been a smoother landing.
We might have been able to, our glide ratio, we might have been able to get over the trees. There was a field.
Keep their nose up. And,
Right.
There was a field directly in front of us,
Wow.
a plowed field, which I walked through.
Right.
And I don't know, country boys might understand. You ever walk through a plowed field, a freshly plowed field? It's hard, even when you're not hurt. And, I had some injuries.
But, and again, this is a tough question, I know, but because I got to know, because these are my biggest fears. So as the plane hits the trees, you're still conscious.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like, how do people die? Like, how does it happen? Is it from the impact on the tree? Is it like, do you bang into something, or do you just get blown up? And what the hell happens? And how did you? I mean, how the hell do you survive? It's crazy.
I did. I was wadded up in a little piece of wreckage about the size of a Volkswagen.
So it was just by the grace of God.
It was. It had
The plane
usually
was
everybody's
ripped apart.
killed.
Everyone's
the plane
usually
was ripped apart.
How many people?
Yes, ma'am.
How many people lived?
There was 26 of us on board.
Right.
And 6 people were killed on impact.
And when you say killed on impact, how does it, like, what happens to you that you get killed on impact?
Well, Ronnie Van Zant, a day later, the doctor came in and asked me, he says, you've been asking who made it and who didn't.
Right.
And I knew about Ronnie. I was really surprised about Cassie and Steve. But the doctor told me, he says, are you ready? I said, yeah. And he told me, and he said that Ronnie was killed by a single blow to the head. In other words,
something broke off and hit him?
No, we were rock and roll, man.
Right.
So we're on the plane. We've got Sony Betamaxes, Trinitrons sitting around. All this stuff came forward
and hit him
on the impact, and Ronnie was killed by the blow.
So he wasn't really killed by the crash necessarily. It was the stuff in the plane moving forward hitting him. He might have survived if you didn't have all that crap there.
That's totally true because...
God, how ironic is that? He was killed by rock and roll equipment.
Exactly.
Oh
it came forward on him.
Any idea what they could have done to increase the chances of survival besides, like, keeping the
landing gear up?
I guess probably not have all that crap inside the...
Well, that would have helped, too. That's why they're always saying, only things that can fit under your seat.
And you know what's sad for me in your life? I mean, I see a lot of tragedy in life, that the guys from Skinner won't talk to you. They're pissed off
Howard,
at you.
Howard, that's kind of a misconception. I wasn't kicked out of Skinner. I left the band. Okay, now... I was in the real Leonard Skinner, which is Ronnie Van Zant.
That's right.
I give credit to Ronnie. Ronnie was the singer, the writer. I think Ronnie could have done his thing with 6 other guys.
Right.
All right? That's my respect to Ronnie. But
how'd you meet Ronnie? How'd you end up in the band?
I was jamming with Charlie Daniels and Marshall Tucker down in where I live.
And he dug what you were doing on the drums.
And they needed a drummer.
Right.
And Charlie told him he knew this guy. And Gomer Pyle. Gomer Pyle, USMC.
Right.
Shazam. And Ronnie met me and hired me without even hearing me play.
Wow.
And
just based on that recommendation.
Based on the recommendation
Luckiest
from
day of your life, right?
Toy Caldwell, Tommy Caldwell, Paul Riddle, and Charlie Daniels were saying, yeah, Artimus can play.
It's got to be an amazing ride when you're coming up, and all of a sudden your band hits like Leonard Skinner did. I mean, one of the legendary bands. I mean, it must be an amazing feeling to go, man, playing the drums actually paid off.
Well, I have no choice about what I am. I'm a drummer.
Right.
I can run a bulldozer. I can fly a plane. I'm a carpenter, but I am a drummer.
Did you know when you were a kid you were going to be a drummer? I mean, were you one of those guys who always banged on pots and pans and stuff?
Well, when I came out and the doctor slapped me on my butt, that was the downbeat. It was like 2, 3, 4.
Did your parents?
Bam,
did your parents get you lessons?
No lessons, but my father bought me a beautiful set of Slingerland drums.
Which is funny because most parents don't want to hear all that noise and
Right.
racket.
Usually that's the last instrument you're going to get a kid.
The old man was okay.
He was great, and when I was 9 years old, I got a set of bongo drums, and I did bang on pots and pans.
Right. So you had no formal training.
No formal training.
Ever feel intimidated when you're around these drummers who knew all the technical crap and know how to read music and all that?
I don't feel intimidated. I feel I admire, I respect, because there are great drummers. Now, last year I was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
I'm a Hall of Fame drummer.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, there's 1,000 guys that I can think of off the top of my head that deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before me.
Wow. You're a humble dude.
Because they're so great.
Right.
But I was Ronnie Van Zant's drummer.
Right.
He was my singer. I will ride in on his coattails, no problem.
Wow. Well, that's good of you to say. That's really quite beautiful.
So, in other words, you left Skinner because there was no more Ronnie Van Zant.
That's right, Robin. I mean,
but those
that's
guys,
really true.
You would love to talk to the guys, the surviving guys, but the fact of the matter is they abandoned you when you got into this thing with your girlfriend, and then she accused you of molesting her kid.
Right.
And I guess, that was a real ugly part of your life. And then shouldn't they have stood by you by that? You're not a child molester, are you?
No, absolutely not.
Right.
There's not a word of any of that was true.
Right.
It was all about fleecing me for money. My 17.
You had to admit guilt, though, in order to get rid of the charges. Is that it?
There was a very vague charge, attempted capital sexual battery.
Right.
And I fought it for 2 years. I ran out of money. And the minute I ran out of money, all of my attorneys completely abandoned me.
Wow.
So I had to go before and do 8 years of psychosexual counseling, probation. I did 3 years of that and probation. And I never admitted to anything because there was nothing to admit to, and they almost put me back in the system.
Psychosexual counseling. So if you're sitting there in psychosexual counseling, aren't you angry? You're going, hey, I didn't do anything. Why am I sitting here talking to you?
Howard, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Surrounded by guys that did things to their children.
So you're in groups, group therapy kind of things and all that?
Absolutely. I did that for 3 years.
You have a son of your own now, right? You got
I have 5 children.
You have 5 children.
I have 3 sons.
Right.
And 2 daughters.
Did you ever have to sit down and explain to them, look, I had an ugly episode of my life. I want you to know that I'm a cool dude?
No, they all know.
They all know.
Everybody that knows me, Howard, knows that was about fleecing me for money in Jacksonville, Florida, blood-sucking weasel attorneys, and some crazy person with an agenda.
Well, anyone can
I
accuse
survived
anyone.
it, man.
Right.
I mean, when
You
I talked
survived.
to you last time, I was very angry, very hurt
Right.
that my friends had abandoned me. And that's where I felt hurt. But on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year at the Waldorf Astoria,
how were they to
the guy we played Freebird in Sweet Home Alabama.
And did they talk to you after?
The guys came up to me, and because they know I can look any of them in the eye.
But weren't you angry with them for abandoning you? I mean, everything's okay now.
I did my album, Artimus Venomous,
right,
and I got it out of my system. And, it doesn't do any good to carry the anger and the resentment around.
So did you guys talk afterward, after the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Did you get together and say, hey, let's talk about this?
Well, Rolling Stone asked Gary in interviews after the induction, after we finished Freebird, he said, Gary, how does it feel to play with Artimus again? And Gary goes, I'd take a bullet for Artimus, Pyle. As a matter of fact, we're going to sleep in the same room tonight. It's something you don't forget.
Right.
And I laughed, and they laughed. And
you guys went through a plane crash together.
I love Billy and I love Gary. There's only 3 of us that were on the plane. There's Billy, Gary, and myself.
If they invited you to work with them now, would you do it?
I was mad at those guys, and I love them. And sure, for the fans.
Have you seen them since the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
No, I have not.
Have you spoken to them?
And you haven't spoken.
We have not spoken.
Right.
I never heard from the guys. I don't expect to.
When you came after the plane crash, and you were conscious through the whole thing, or did you pass out for a while?
I was never knocked unconscious.
Wow.
I never lost consciousness.
You were just like, whoa, I'm up. I'm alive. You had a couple of broken ribs, couple of everything, right?
The cartilage in the middle of my chest was all ripped.
Wow. How painful is that?
It was very painful. And then my legs were messed up pushing through the metal to get out of the plane.
Wow.
And then I went back into the plane to help a friend of mine whose legs were caught. A little sapling tree had been shaved off, and it came up through the plane.
Wow.
And he was pinned. And so I crawled back in where I had just pushed through, and I helped him get his legs out and threaded him out.
Wow.
Put him up against a tree, told him to hold his wounds, and I yelled as loud as I could that I was going for help.
Did you check out, and the pilots you knew they were dead?
I found Walter McCreary, and he definitely was. The pilot and co-pilot were decapitated.
They were. You saw that.
And
you saw them?
I tried to take a pulse on the co-pilot on John Gray, and I realized that he wasn't connected.
Wow.
And then
what decapitated them, though? I mean, how did that happen?
I have no idea. Well, just the impact and the wreckage and
just moving forward,
and just the violence of it. I always think about that too, Howard. I think about what is the point of impact that actually takes the life.
Yeah.
I thought about that with what happened
That's
here
the thing
with you
that drives
guys.
me crazy. Like what?
Like when does it happen, and how alert or conscious of it will you be?
And anyone who knows this story, the amazing thing is, Artimus then took off on foot to find help.
Yeah.
He gets to a house and he gets shot.
Yeah, take us
Do
through
you know
that.
that?
Like,
Yeah, I
like
mean, like,
exactly what
so
happened
how
there.
long- So you come to realize you're conscious. You know, do you say to some of these people, "Look, I'm leaving. I'm going to go find some help."
Well, I heard Billy Powell trapped and yelling, "Where are the pilots?" And
Right.
I was right there at them, and I said, "The pilots are dead."
Right.
I said that, and I said, "I'm going for help." So I knew as a Marine, you know, once a Marine, always a Marine, that I knew the only thing that was going to help my friends was help.
Right. You
I
gotta
couldn't sit there and do stuff.
No.
I did as much as I could.
How did you walk with your legs all screwed up and your cartilage and your chest all messed up? I mean, it must have been painful.
It was painful. I was going through black water because it was at dusk. I mean, the sun had gone down. We were at 9,000 feet. It was getting, dark. When I got under the canopy of the trees, it was pretty dark in there. I was in black water.
Wow.
Up to my chest.
Wow.
And a snake went by, and I remember thinking to myself, "I'll bite your head off.
Or
Get
thinking
out
to
of my
yourself,
way."
I just survived a plane crash.
Yeah.
How the hell am I going
don't
to get
mess with
killed
me
by a
now.
snake?
Don't
So-
mess with me now.
Right.
Yeah. And I got to a barbed wire fence, and there were cows on the other side of the barbed wire fence. And I could have French kissed every one of those cows.
Right.
Because I knew if there's cows, there was people.
Right.
So I had no leverage to jump up and down. So I had to roll over the barbed wire.
Whoa.
Which was like, just sticking yourself with a knife. So I rolled over the barbed wire. I got on the other side of the fence, and I saw a light way across the field. So I made my way to that farmhouse.
Right.
And as I got to the farmhouse, I walked up into the barnyard, and this young boy named Johnny Moat, he's
Right.
19 years old, he came out. He's protecting his family. He's got a gun. He's got a rifle, and I'm kind of staggering up, looking like Charles Manson,
Right.
covered with blood.
Right.
Yeah, it's blood on me, and I'm.
And you're like, "Hey, Leonard Skinner over here."
I'm looking like Manson, and I come up, and I can't really talk because I'm not
Oh,
close enough.
man.
And
How many hours is this since the plane crash?
it took me about 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
to get to the farmhouse.
Okay.
About a mile. And so he leveled the gun out, and I'm in shock. I'm going into shock from the plane crash, and I hear something that sounds like a shotgun. It sounded like a shotgun to me, and something stung me in my left shoulder.
Oh, my God.
And I looked down, and my coat puffed up. Something went poof on my left shoulder because there was like some padding. There was a coat hanging out of the wreckage, and survival mode, I grabbed this blue jean coat and kind of got it around me.
Oh, my God. You were shot.
And it wasn't even my coat. And I saw this thing, the cotton puff, and I looked at it, and I thought,
What
and
else?
it spun me around. And I fell to the ground and yelled plane crash with what I thought was my last breath. And he said, "Oh, my God, I'm so sorry." And he runs over to me. Now, he told everybody on the VH1 thing, he said that I shot over his head. But, there's no 19-year-old Mississippi guy that wants to be the guy that shot Skinner.
Right. Yeah, that'd be bad.
Absolutely not.
He's not going to admit to that.
Amazing. What an amazing story. Isn't it amazing? I'd have nightmares from just being shot at.
Are you sure you don't think there's a cloud over your head?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Let's re-ask the question.
Sounds like he's a survivor. He's got somebody up there likes him too, because he's been in some scrapes and
A
he's
lot
gotten
of
through 'em,
scrapes, yeah.
Survivor is the word, Artie.
How
Survivor
long did
is
you
the
wait
word.
before you got on a plane? How many years was it before you got on the plane again?
Well, I moved to Jerusalem, Israel, and
Yeah.
I lived in the castle of King David on Mount Zion. I'm a Gentile. I worked with 65 Jewish families, helping them on Shabbat, Shabbos, and
Man, you are a wild guy.
I worked in the Beis Midrash, studying Torah with the pilpul between the two guys.
Why did you do that? You think you went all religious because of...
I didn't go religious. I just wanted to study. I wanted to work on my character and try to become a human being. So the answer...
Why were you not a human being?
Well, just everything that had happened.
Right.
I wasn't sure. And so I wanted to go to... I knew a friend over there that I had introduced to his wife. They now have 9 children that lived over there. Yoshua ben Yehuda and his wife Yael. And I went to Ohio State University with the man. His name was Ron Davis at the time.
Wow.
And he changed it to Hebrew. But in answer to your question, when I flew, the first time I flew, was to get on a plane and go to Tel Aviv to fly to Israel.
Wow, man. Well, I tell you, that
Which was
is
8 hours.
unbelievable. That is unbelievable, man.
Incredible.
What a story.
But did you have that why me feeling? Because a lot of times they say the survivors of a plane crash, they live with such incredible guilt.
Oh, Robin, I definitely didn't even realize that I was experiencing survivor's guilt.
Wow.
For a long time you're wondering, why did this happen to the band at our pinnacle when things could have, Steve Gaines and Ronnie Van Zant were such a great writing team, and Ronnie had just found, when Ed King, who co-wrote Sweet Home Alabama and was in Strawberry Alarm Clock, Incense and Peppermints, when Ed was the writing partner with Ronnie. When we lost Ed, then Steve came along.
Right.
And that was the guy that Ronnie really enjoyed writing with. And that's the potential.
Who knows what else would have come out of that band?
It would have been some really great music.
What an incredible ride, huh?
Ronnie wasn't 30 yet, and he had written all the... I mean, I got them on my my iPod right now. I mean, there's like a lot of great tunes, and he wasn't even 30 yet.
And Artie, dig this, man. I run into kids all the time, all over the world, that buried a friend to Freebird.
Right.
They got married. Their high school prom was the Simple Man theme. Guys in jail that say, "Hey, Artimus, man, I was in jail and I listened to."
I got a blowjob to give me 3 times.
Yeah, I got. Give me 3 steps. I got a blow. And especially and 911, of course, was on Tuesday's Gone.
Right.
Was on Tuesday. So Tuesday's Gone was a song that we couldn't play for a year.
Right.
And so the stories that I hear about the meanings that Skynnerd's music and Ronnie's words have to people. 30 years after we had the plane crash, they still play our music every day all over the world on the radio. We're in every TV show. You'll see a comment about Skynnerd, the Colbert Report, Daily Show, all the movies that come out. There's a Skynnerd song.
Well, I got another lame story for you. It's special to me because it's mine, but I just put out a movie that I wrote with my friend, and Simple Man is on the soundtrack. It's three different parts.
Yeah,
of the
Artemis
movie.
hasn't seen a dime from that, by the way.
Really? We paid somebody. Somebody got paid for Simple Man.
Now, Artemis, you wrote a new album called Artemis Venomous. Is that because with all your anger toward the guys in the band and anger about, how they treated you, is that the impetus behind Artemis Venomous?
Yes, sir.
It is.
Yes.
Here is a song called Blood-Sucking Weasel Attorneys.
Well, how do you really feel?
This would probably be in reference to what happened with your ex-wife and you getting drained by all the attorneys and all that.
And then them
whole legal hassle.
abandoning him once he...
Am I right?
Well, yes, sir. They saw money because of Skynnerd. And they came in with all these proposals, the lawyers. And then, my song says there are good attorneys. Of course there are.
Right.
But
these are about the blood-sucking weasel attorneys.
And the good attorneys need to police. This is a call to arms. They need to police their ranks.
Let's hear a little bit of blood-sucking weasel attorneys.
Pompous, arrogant, ruthless. Listen up.
Whine for money incessantly. You threaten you won't be free.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is great.
I like that you're so angry.
I can't believe I'm sitting here listening to this on your show, man.
Look at it.
I missed you, man.
Thank you. Blood-sucking weasel attorneys. Hear a little.
I wanted it to be a little swampy, a little southern.
Well, you've been through a swamp.
Blood-sucking weasel attorneys makes the honest ones look like a fool. If I were a lawyer with ethics, I'd tell the weasels they were being uncool. They sit in their ivory towers. They give us a minute and charge us for hours. They walk like spoiled children for money and leave you dead like roadkill. You try to be your brother's keeper. You try to be someone's best friend. You try to take care of your family, but the lawyers won't let you. The lawyers won't let you. The lawyers won't let you. The lawyers won't let you.
I'll tell you something. If I ever get married again, I'm going to get married to this.
Won't let you.
I don't care about Skinner. I'm getting married to this thing. You know what I mean?
Oh man,
Yeah, it's too
I do
much.
want to license it to L.A. for any movies that come out.
Yeah.
Because there's always a reference to lawyers, so
Right.
this would be a great movie soundtrack.
It's unbelievable. Let's go to Irish John, who says he has a question, and I'll let him on with Artemis for a couple of minutes here. Irish John will take a few phone calls in New Rochelle.
Good morning, Howard. Hey, Artemis. First and foremost, I'm real sorry about the loss of your friends. I just want to know, is there any truth to the rumor after the whole Southern Man, Sweet Home Alabama thing that Ronnie Van Zant was buried in a Neil Young T-shirt?
Any truth to that rumor that Ronnie was buried in a Neil Young T-shirt?
Well, did you guys hear about Ronnie's grave being dug up?
No, I haven't.
There were two guys, or two or three guys, in Jacksonville, Florida, that went out and invaded Ronnie's tomb.
When was this?
And this was about 4 or 5 years ago. And Judy Van Zant put out a reward, to find these guys. And that's what they were trying to find out.
Oh, my goodness.
If Ronnie was buried in the Neil Young T-shirt. I don't have an answer for that.
Couldn't Judy answer that question?
Judy could answer that question. Judy Van Zant could answer, but that's Judy Van Zant, Grondon, Smith, Jones, Reynolds.
Right.
And she could answer that question, but
Why doesn't she?
I'm not sure. Maybe nobody's put it to her. She's kind of been out of touch.
Wait a second though. How far did they get trying to dig up the body?
They actually got into the coffin.
They did?
Yeah, the tomb was an above ground tomb. It's in
How long
Florida.
does it take to dig through and get? I mean, they did it by hand, or I would assume, right?
They definitely used hand tools to get in.
Yeah,
They
this is an above ground thing, so they got to get through
Oh, I
whatever
see.
it's
They
made
had,
of.
I guess they took
Pry
like a
open.
sledge and went through some of the marble and went into the sarcophagus, the casket.
Right.
But the thing is, Ronnie and Neil Young were going to write a song together.
Oh wow.
And Neil's schedule and Ronnie's schedule, our schedules did not permit that to happen. But I talked to Neil Young in
that would've been
Gainesville,
cool.
Florida, for Ronnie, because Neil Young was saying, Southern man, bullwhips cracking. Ronnie was saying, don't blame me for something that happened before my time, because I'm not like that.
Right.
Southern man now may be a little different. It's a new South. That's what Ronnie was saying. Then they were going to get together and write a song. Which
And it never happened. That would have been great.
That would have been great.
Neil
man.
Young's one of my favorites.
Hey, Howard, I,
love
also
Neil
wanted
Young.
to
Me
say
too. I love
Ronnie's
Neil.
younger brother, Johnny, really stepped up and did a great job with the van stepping in for his brother. That must have been really tough.
I'm sure it was tough for Johnny, yeah.
All right, thank you. Let's go to Chris in Pittsburgh. Go ahead. You're on the air with Artemis Pyle. Go ahead, Chris. One last word, then I got to go. What's up?
Hey now, Howard.
Hey,
how
now.
you doing? Nice to talk to you. Artie, I love you. Hey, I want to talk to you, Artemis. My uncle passed away this past May, and he was just the biggest Skinner fan, man. And I remember sitting around drinking beers, Iron City beers in Pittsburgh, man, smoking joints, listening to your music, man. I loved it.
Well, there
My
you go.
family-
I mean, sounds like your uncle was a good guy.
He was a great dude. He was a trucker.
All right, let's go to
We've all-
Gary Delabate, who wants to say hello.
Will was
Yes.
just telling me before we say goodbye to Artemis that he has a pretty interesting McCartney story.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you save McCartney's life by grabbing him or something? He almost fell off something?
Well, it was the Rolling Stones show. When we opened up for the Rolling Stones in Nebworth, England, outside of London, there was 300,000 people there.
Right.
It was 10cc, Hot Tuna, Todd Rundgren, Leonard Skinner, Rolling Stones.
Good show.
Don Harrison Group,
Wow.
Creedence.
Right.
Without Fogerty. And so I saw up on a scaffolding. Of course, I love the Beatles, like many. And I saw Paul and Linda sitting 30 feet above the side of the stage, all the gear, on a scaffolding, getting ready to watch 10cc.
Right.
So I got my courage up, and climbed up there and sat down next to Paul. He was between Linda and I. And I said, hello, I'm Artemis. Did you like our set? He goes, yeah, I love that Freebird. That was great. And
Love that Freebird.
yeah. And I said, well, I love your music, and my favorite song is Maybe I'm Amazed.
Right.
And he was digging that. And I said, I have children. You have children. Just wanted to say. And so he's got his legs crossed underneath him on the scaffolding.
Right.
And he grabs the scaffold to pull himself up and let his legs dangle.
Right.
Well, he smashes his head into the bar,
Ooh.
and knocks himself silly.
Oh, geez.
So, I mean, my immediate reaction was to grab him and hold him. And Linda grabbed him from the other side, and we're holding him. He's limp. And he
was unconscious.
He wakes, he kind of comes to and looks at me. And this is from an English guy, not just Paul McCartney, but from an English guy. He looks at me and he goes, I'll never forget this. He goes, us old gunfighters have hard heads, don't we?
Wow, and that was it.
And I guess I looked like an old gunfighter as he came out of the daze. And I said, yes, Paul, anything you say, buddy. And, and I wouldn't let go of him until he said that he had his stability.
Good thing he wasn't with Heather Mills. She might have pushed him right over.
Right,
Yeah. And he could have fallen 30 feet, and if he could have been injured badly. So
you're some kind of rock and roll saint, Artemis.
Rob, go ahead in St. Louis. You're on with Artimus Pyle. Great name, Artimus
Hey
Pyle.
guys, love the show. Artimus, unbelievable fucking story, man.
Yeah.
I don't even like Leonard Skinner, and shit, holy cow.
Pretty amazing stuff.
You don't have one favorite Skinner song?
Hey, dude, I'm from New York. I'm 30 years old. I'm not big on the South, so.
He's into Kevin Federloin, Artemis.
Loin. Better loin.
Well, he likes you, though. Hey, Mike, you're on the air in Cleveland. Hey, now, go ahead real quick because we got to go.
Okay, Artemis, I work for the VA in Cleveland. You said you were at in Vietnam as well.
No, I was not in Vietnam. I was in the Marines for 4 years, and I trained, and I got my orders to Vietnam, and we pulled out. And I thank God every day.
Yeah, thank God.
But I was trained, and I do go to the VA hospital down in North Carolina where I live.
Okay, that's good. Do you see anybody for PTSD after these issues?
Well, I've got my own way of dealing with that.
Post-traumatic stress syndrome?
Yes, and it's playing drums. I've got a dream of opening up a place called Sun River Drums. And it's like a big room with 20 sets of drums, open to the public, man, woman, and child. You come in.
Holy shit, what a headache that would be.
You pay but that's true. But think about all the people that buy drums for their kids, and then they end up in the attic or in the basement, and you can't practice here because it's too loud.
Right.
So I want to open up a place. The rule of my place will be make as much noise as you want.
Well, that'd be pretty
And then
cool.
you can get the stress, and it's like stress management. So
you think hitting those drums really helped you?
By playing drums, it really does help me, and I'd like to do that with elderly kids that can't practice at home. I'd like to have
therapy.
a place.
Jeff, go ahead. You're on the air in German, Pennsylvania.
Hey, God bless you, Artemis.
Hey, man, God bless you.
Amazing story, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Howard, what an interview, dude.
This is a good man. Artemis Venomous is in the stores. If you want, pick up a copy. Enjoy some Artemis Venomous in stores March 13th. So that's just about to be released. There's also ArtemisPyle.com you can go to and check it all out. Yeah,
yes, Artemis has his hand raised.
Yeah, this ain't school, brother. You can say whatever you want. Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt you, Howard. I just wanted to say that we're on Cleopatra Records, if I may say that.
All right. Hard to get a record deal these days, isn't it?
Yeah, but you have to have something. And see, I did my album, I did it first with a guy in Nashville that was a good friend of Ronnie's. And so it's like it comes full circle. I work with people like Jimmy Hall from Wet Willie, Keep On Smiling. He goes to Japan and plays with Jeff Beck, and he's Hank Jr.'s musical director. So I play in a band
you got some good people around you.
With Jimmy Hall, and he was friends with Ronnie. Ronnie loved him. So it kind of brings it full circle for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to say goodbye to Artemis.
Wait a minute,
and we have commercials.
I have to ask one more question because he says he lost all his money while he was in this fight. I mean, so how are you doing financially now? Are you, back on top? Or?
He's wearing the same coat from the last time I interviewed him.
I look at you live simple, and you learn to get by on little.
Simple man.
And that's
you got a house?
Ronnie wrote that. I did. I just bought a house in Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, then you're doing okay.
A nice little place.
Roof over your head. You got a couple of bucks in the bank.
Nothing fancy, but I have no complaints.
Right. Do you still get some money from the Leonard Skinner album
Yes,
sales?
I'm on group royalties, and I have. Money is not, as I think you're the same way, Howard. It's not about the money.
It's about the pussy. I know what you're saying.
I'm almost 60 years old.
Really?
I'm
you look
pushing
damn
60.
good, man.
I'm 58, and I still love playing drums as much as I ever have, and I'm going to play drums till I'm 100. Then I'm going to switch to stand-up comedy.
Nice. That's the time to start training.
And one more thing. Then what about the women? Because you got burned pretty bad. Are you okay with women now? Or?
He's a married man, aren't you?
I have an incredible wife. We've been together for 10 years. We have a 7-year-old son named River.
Is she much younger than you?
And she's 23.
Your wife's 20?
22 years younger than me.
22 years. That sounds
22
about
years.
right to me.
Yes, sir. She's a great lady. She's a hippie. I'm a hippie. You know, I'm
As
an
long
old
as she
hippie.
ain't a hippo, then you're in good luck.
You know, that's.
Let me tell you something, Artemis. You're a good man. I wish you lots of success. I wish you lots of happiness. In fact, I'm going to leave you with a cut
Howard.
called Jerusalem. Yeah, Artie.
You sound like you want to get rolling, but he has a, if you care at all, he has a is you guys security guy Mike?
Michael Shalaba, my good friend.
That I met the other night.
Saved my life.
He used to be a New York City cop.
Right.
And he's got an insane story involving me when I was in a blackout, supposedly.
But you don't even
15
remember it.
I don't, but what he describes could totally have been me. He gave me the circumstances. And he also is the cop who shot Old Dirty Bastard.
No kidding.
He's got a couple of great, I don't know if you want to talk. He's got two amazing
Maybe
stories.
we'll get to him next. Are you going to bring him by next time? I'm running low on time, and I know we got about 20 other guests coming in.
Any time for the rest of our lives,
Right.
Howard, that we can get together.
All right, that's good. I'll make you make sure you do that. And yeah, Artie passed out somewhere, and I guess when he was a cop, he found you to make the story.
It's even crazier than that. He told me that I was in a blackout after performing at the comic strip one night in 1992. Now the time frame is totally right, and he said that after my gig, somebody in the audience, I had basically like almost kidnapped and forced him to take me home.
Oh my goodness!
And he said they pulled this cop over because the guy in the passenger seat was throwing shit out the window on 2nd Avenue. And he said that the guy was like scared. He goes, "Officer, I just saw this guy perform at a comedy club, and we were drinking at the bar." And he said, "You got to take me home. You got to take me home. I got no way home." And he just ran and got in my car and told me to drive down 2nd Avenue. And he was throwing shit out the window, out of control. And that's why he was pulled over. And this guy was a plainclothes police officer. Now, he's telling me this. He said, "Look at my face. Do you remember me?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not."
Wow.
And he goes, I looked at you in your face, and I took the keys away from the guy, and I locked you up in his car. And I said, "We're going to come back at 6 a.m. and let you sober up." And meanwhile, he said the guy was scared shit of me. They come back at 6 a.m., and I had taken the kid's coat and it was freezing cold out. I put the coat over me, and I was sleeping, and the kid was in the front seat sleeping. And
well, you really are a lowlife.
I mean,
what's
What a
going on?
nightmare!
What a
Yeah.
nightmare is right.
He's telling me this, and he goes, and I said, "When
You
did
sure
you?"
he's got the right guy?
I go, "When did you realize it was me?" He goes, "I saw you on Mad TV," and I call my partner. He goes, "That's without question
The guy.
The guy."
Oh, that's so funny.
And he said he was going to call in when I got in here, but he didn't want to embarrass me. I'm like, "Embarrass me?" But he's telling me this the other night, and I was like horrified listening to it.
Believe that, Robin?
It's totally believable that it could have been Artie because he has blacked out and still been functional.
But at that time, I was performing at the comic strip all the time, and it was at the height of when I was really drinking and drugging bad.
And this guy, Michael Shalaba, he is an honorable man. He would not make anything up like this.
No, I believe him. I just can't believe Artie can't remember.
No, I believe him too. But
he let him sleep for 4 hours. He says they usually take the keys and throw them in the trunk and give the guys time to sober,
right?
If they don't want to arrest them. But they took the keys, kept them, and came back 4 hours later, and he was asleep in the locked car and had taken this kid's clothes and covered up with all of his clothes, and this kid was freezing. But it's I'm sure if Mike says it. But
I'm not discrediting.
No, Artie likes that.
I don't like it.
Can I just add one thing, just real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we have a gift for you, Howard. If you
Thank
want,
you.
if we want, can we give it to you?
Of course.
Before I leave, the one thing I'd like to say, we did before the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Mike Shalaba, with all of his friends, 911, first responders, fire, rescue, military, he set us up a gig on the Intrepid so that we could play for the Skinner fans that got us into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Because it was them. Because the tickets to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame were $2,500 a piece.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, so we did this on the Intrepid, a free gig. The Intrepid was in on it, and we played for a lot of people down there the day before the induction. And so all these New York City police officers, John Schroeder and all his friends and family that are fire department police officers, I would just like to say hello and thank you to all the 911 responders, fire, rescue, military,
they did the right
their
thing.
families. because all the guys are out there. They come to our shows. They always bring their family. We meet their families, and it's a great thing. So I just want to say, from my heart, thanks to all the fans that have made us in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Real good, Artimus.
And now let me give you this.
What do you got, man?
This is a
guitar.
Oh, cool.
Open that up. This is a beautiful Epiphone Master Series.
Let's see that.
If only I could play, Artimus. Do you
Freddie,
play guitar
okay.
at all, or are you just a drummer?
I would never play in public.
But you can play.
I play for myself, but I play drums in public.
Well, that's what you should do, Howard. Just play for yourself.
That's what I do. I got to tell you, though, Artimus, I can't open this.
Let's see. Somebody give him some help.
Wait, I'll help him. Wait a minute.
Well, the case is beautiful on the inside. You might want to.
Yeah, it looks like you've well padded it.
I want to be buried in this case. Now I'm zipping it up. I don't know how to undo this.
But Slingerland just built me a new set of drums.
Wow, look at that, man. Wow, hey, this is
Oh,
it's got a
let me
humidifier.
see.
It's got a humidifier in
Thank
there.
God. My last guitar had no humidifier.
You could keep your you could keep your Cubans in there.
Look at me, man.
Stand up and let me see.
I've never played in my life, and now all of a sudden I can play.
It's like magic.
This is actually a very beautiful guitar. Thank you.
Gorgeous.
My friend Willie of the Street Survivors, the Long Island Street Survivors, he tuned it up for you.
I was going to say, it's in tune coming out of the box.
I want your love.
Howard,
love again.
You're good.
Of course. Lawyers suck, my friend.
Nice.
Thank you. Artimus, thanks. Artimus Pyle, everyone. And the album is called Artimus Venomous, and we'll be back right after these words.
So Artimus.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man.
How'd it go in there?
I've been missing all the guys. I told Howard that I don't have the satellite radio down where I live in the South. And since you went off the E, you were on the E channel, and I haven't seen you in a long time. I've been missing you.
So it's good to be back and to see them and to.
It's great to see Howard, and we did the interview 10 years ago in '97.
Right.
And there's been a lot of water under the bridge of all kinds of things in this world, since '97.
Yeah, you seem to have lost a lot of your, anger towards some of the people you.
Well, the album, my album, it's a catharsis, getting all the anger out, and now I can laugh about it because I've forever put it down on vinyl. That's how I felt. And Frank Zappa was a good friend of mine. If Frank Zappa would have lived, I think I would have played with Frank. So my album has a little bit of that Frank stuff in it, the Zappa stuff, and I'm proud of that.
Was it also sort of therapeutic telling the stories to Howard and to Robin and to Artie about some of the things you've gone through? And
it always feels good to get it's like confession, I guess, to get things off your soul and talk about it, so that you don't carry it around by yourself. But there's people in this world. There's so many people that have had so many hard times that I can't complain about anything, man. There's nothing I can complain about. I have a beautiful son, he's 7 years old, my latest son. And I have my older sons are incredible musicians. I jam with them all the time. My daughters are unbelievable, so I'm the luckiest person in the world.
You've got a lot to be happy about.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by. It was some great stories.
I love you guys.